Imagine you wake up to rain tapping at your window. You had plans for the beach, but now, disappointment floods in. Your mind resists what it cannot change. You curse the weather, feel your mood collapse, and the entire day feels lost before it's even begun. This is the trap of an untrained mind, tossed about by things outside its control. Now imagine another response. You look out, see the rain, and simply accept it. You boil water for tea, open a book you've been meaning to read, and find quiet joy in the storm. The difference is not the weather, it's the mind. The Stoics taught that while we can't govern the world, we can govern ourselves. And when we master that, we master life. First, the foundation of Stoic practice. Focus only on what is in your control. Epictetus once said, "Some things are up to us, and some are not." Think of driving in rush hour traffic. Someone cuts you off, slams their brakes, and you feel anger rise. You can honk, stew, replay the moment all day, but none of that changes their behavior. What is yours to command is your response. You can tighten your grip on the wheel and let rage consume you, or you can breathe, relax your shoulders, and move on safely. Every wasted thought on what we cannot control is energy stolen from what we can. Attention, effort, and character are always yours to steer. When you shift your focus back to your own choices, frustration loses its grip. And that brings us naturally to the second practice, reshaping how we see the world itself. Our second practice is learning to reframe. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Imagine your internet crashes right before a big presentation. Panic flares. Yet, after the anger, there's a choice. You could dwell on the failure, or you could pivot. Call in, adapt, and perhaps impress your team with calm resourcefulness. Stoics remind us that obstacles are rarely permanent walls. More often, they are doors we hadn't thought to open. What feels like failure may in hindsight be a turning point. The reframing mind is flexible, like water finding its course. Each challenge, no matter how bitter, can become the raw material for growth. Once we practice this, the next step is learning to quiet the mind that magnifies problems. The third way is cultivating inner stillness. Seneca said, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." Picture yourself scrolling late into the night. Notifications, headlines, endless voices clamoring for attention. By morning, your mind feels scattered and restless. That's the cost of noise without pause. The Stoics valued silence, solitude, and deliberate reflection. Stillness is not withdrawal from life, it's sharpening your inner clarity so that when life strikes you respond, not react. Try stepping away from screens, even briefly. Sit quietly in a room. Feel your breath anchor you. This simple act resets the mind like a calm harbor after a storm. Stillness gives you perspective. It lets you see which battles are worth fighting and which deserve only your peace. And from stillness flows another Stoic practice, preparing for life's inevitable storms before they arrive. Our fourth practice is what the Stoics called premeditation of evils. Seneca wrote, "He robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand." Imagine boarding a flight. Most people cross their fingers hoping for perfect skies. The Stoic imagines turbulence, delays, maybe even being stranded, not to wallow in fear but to prepare. If those things happen, they sting less. If they don't, gratitude deepens. Negative visualization trains the mind to soften life's blows. The worst surprises are the ones we never considered. When we've already rehearsed them, they lose their edge. This practice doesn't make us pessimists. It makes us resilient optimists, able to enjoy life fully, because we've made peace with loss in advance. With that readiness, we can move to the next lesson, remembering that our time itself is fleeting. The fifth practice may sound stark, memento mori, remember, you will die. Marcus Aurelius urged, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Imagine sitting at dinner, half distracted by emails. Hours slip by, unnoticed. But if you carried even a faint awareness that this meal, this moment, might be your last with loved ones, would you not taste the food more fully, listen more deeply, and speak more kindly? Death awareness is not meant to sadden us. It is meant to wake us. When we live with death in view, life stops being postponed. Gratitude becomes sharper. We no longer waste days in trivial quarrels or empty scrolling. And with mortality as our compass, we naturally come to another Stoic anchor, living by virtue above all else. Our sixth practice is the Stoic belief that virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control, is the highest good. Epictetus declared, "If virtue promises happiness, prosperity, and peace, then progress in virtue is progress in each of these." Picture a colleague spreading rumors about you at work. Your reputation feels attacked, yet circumstances are outside your control, character is not. You can retaliate, gossip back, or you can stand firm, act justly, and let integrity speak louder than whispers. When life feels unstable, virtue is the one foundation that doesn't move. Wealth fades, status shifts, health falters. But character is always yours to uphold. Choosing virtue is choosing freedom. No matter the storm, you remain steady. And when you live by virtue, you discover one last Stoic practice: gratitude for everything, even the smallest things. Our seventh practice is gratitude. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself each morning, when you arise, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive. Think of your commute. The same road, the same routine. It feels dull, almost invisible. But consider the miracle of moving freely, of lungs drawing breath, of eyes seeing the sky. Gratitude transforms repetition into wonder. The Stoics trained their minds to see blessings where others saw only burdens. Gratitude does not deny hardship, it balances it. It says even in pain, life still offers something to value. Begin simply. Name 3 things each day, however small. A warm meal, a kind word, a moment of silence. These are the threads of a good life. And so we return to where we began. The rain outside your window, and the mind that shapes it. Remember that rainy morning we began with? 2 people, the same storm. One trapped in complaint, the other at peace. The difference lies in the mind, trained or untrained, captive or free. The Stoics weren't superhuman. They felt anger, fear, sadness. But through practice they built a discipline of perception, a strength of response. They mastered their minds so that life's storms, big or small, could not break them. So I challenge you. This week, pick just one Stoic practice. Maybe it's reframing an obstacle, maybe it's 5 minutes of stillness, maybe it's gratitude before sleep. Try it. See how your mind responds, because when you learn to govern yourself, you begin to master life itself. Which Stoic way would you try first? Share it in the comments, I might read yours next time.